kind of crazy and maybe a bit surprising, but this will be my first tabletop review on a purpose-built headlamp here in the Nutnfancy project. Never done one before. Not on a dedicated purpose-built headlamp. Seems like I have, I know. But Nutnfancy, I thought in that video you talked about this one, that one. I referenced them, I know I did that, but throwing it on the table, talking about all the details like we're going to do on this LED Lenser product. Outstanding light, by the way. Go buy one now if you're in a hurry. Yeah, they're that good. No, I've never done that. This will be the first. Now you guys will always ask, why? Why don't you review this headlamp, that headlamp? And there's a couple reasons. One is we don't have unlimited resources, unlimited money to go out and buy these things, then sell them. It just takes a lot of time and energy. That's one reason, and a lot of other stuff going on, you know that. And the biggest is because of this right here. Now I have reviewed this setup, but it's not a dedicated purpose-built headlamp, right? It is an old school Phoenix P3D, which I still love. More compact, lightweight, just a great 1, 2, 3 cell option. And it's riding in a single strap Phoenix headband, long advocated by me here in the project. In fact, once upon a time I put together I think it was a 4.7s mini 1, 2, 3 combination. So that was a single cell 1, 2, 3 in this headband for smoking price through PFI's store. Still a great option. But no headband system is perfect. And let me cover, I guess, the upsides to it first, and I'll cover the downsides of this rig, and this drives home to why I have not been motivated to look for other options. First off, very trim and compact. Look at that. I mean, it just travels so well. It can go in a backpack. Any system you have, it can go into. Works well with hats. It's single strap. So if you're wearing a fleece cap or something, you don't have an overstrap going on it. Really high speed. Works with glasses. Pretty good. You might have some interference over on this side. I like a side-mounted headlamp. It is functional for me, the way I like it. It's easy to switch to different modes on this particular light with the UI. That works well. It's actually very cost effective. This strap is like 25 bucks. Throw in whatever light you want. You're not stuck with a certain light, a certain UI. Those are all the upsides. And to me, they're huge. There are several downsides. One of them is this strap from Phoenix will self-adjust, and that's obnoxious. I mean, you'll be working with it, next thing you know, it's loosened up like that. On several other ones, we have about 5 of these setups we use in all the different systems we're running. You know, run and gun, out in the desert, backpacking, snowshoeing, all that good stuff. I'll throw some stitches right here, and that will lock it in. But then if you change hats or something, it doesn't work that well, but it will serve its function. Another disadvantage is this mechanism on the plastic headband will wear out. And it has. I've busted, I don't know, 3 of these over time, last 6 years. The pivot breaks, or like you can see here, and I really love how this happened. I didn't set this up. The clamp snaps, because it is, again, just made out of polymer plastic. And it's probably just due to age, due to use, and I probably cranked it down too hard. I do that though because I have a twist UI, and if I don't crank it down hard, it'll spin in the mount. That's a downside. You can adjust the pivot on this. I like that. So you make it, you know, whatever, tight, loose. But that is a downside. That's about it though. Cost, weight efficient. That's why I wasn't motivated to go look around. Okay, enter my first ever tabletop review on a purpose-built headlamp. The LED Lenser H7R.2. It is amazing, and I'm not going to say I'm going to retire this setup. I don't think I am, because it's still useful. Oh, another downside, the burn time on this is, it's okay. If you go with a single cell, it's not okay. It's about 25 minutes. You're going to have to be doing a lot of battery exchanges. With this one, it's a good hour with 2 cells in it. This one's going to blow it away. I'm kind of surprised, really, and this is we got 2 of them for the review. That's how much we liked the first. We're like, man, this light rocks. We went out and bought another one. So here's one out of package, and immediately upon seeing the LED Lenser, and I'll try to go quick on this. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but if you're a lighting guy, I think you're going to find it interesting here in TMP. Oh, patches. This is tongue-in-cheek, by the way. It's so funny. I'm just get it now. They're going to sell out. They're selling like freaking crazy. I didn't dig this to begin with because it reminded me of a black diamond light I ran, and I was not impressed with that light. In fact, long before I did TMP, I was running the black diamond headlamp, and I think that was before LED technology took off. But it had an overstrap going over the head. I had a kind of a cumbersome battery pack. I just didn't dig it. So when I got the high-speed, low-drag Phoenix setup, I dug it. And by the way, that has outstanding throw. I mean, searching for steel targets after dark to find out where they are easily. So I had to be convinced this was a good light, and the way we did it is just go out and use it. And so in probably about a month and a half of testing is what we've ran the H7R.2. I'm sold. Totally sold. It is as good as LED Lenser says it is. And I'm going to go over all the specifics. First up, check this box out. This is a box that just speaks of quality. Has all the specifications, technical data on the exterior, and it's trim. There's no extraneous packaging. I don't like it when I get these lights and they're in these huge presentation cases. I don't like it. I haven't even opened this one yet. I'm just going to do an unboxing. First ever also. Never ever have done one of those. Check it. This is what you get when you get the H7R2. Hey Nutton, do you like that red band? I know what you guys are saying. I'm not digging it so much. There's your recharger. I'm sorry, that's the recharging cable and your battery pack right here. I don't dig the red strap that much, but I can deal with it. I would like it better if it was pure black. Maybe have a high vis option like red, and then maybe a subdued, you guessed it, FDE, or as you see now, yellow or red. How about the weight and size? If we go up against this is going to be heavier, but it has more firepower, more capabilities. 5.8 ounces, and this is about 4.8. Actually, that's pretty close to the same weight now that I think of it. But this is much more capable, as we're going to see. You're not going to get, however, in this H7R2 model, the water resistance you get with this. This is IPX8 rated. I'm talking the particular light, assuming this headband wasn't cracked. This is IPX4, i.e. splash resistant because of the battery pack. Probably the module, the light module here too. Okay, so I don't know. If you want something more waterproof, you might want to go with the Phoenix option still. And there's a lot of headlamps out there. I'm not saying this is the best. It's just one I ran into and I dug it. I'm going to tell the world about it. I love it so much. How about ergonomics on this? How to use this light? First off, there's no top strap to get in the way. I like that. It is adjustable and it stays adjusted from our use. I'm sure if you crank on that hard enough, it may pull. But it worked. That makes it a stable unit to ride in your noggin. So if you're running, bouncing around, doing work under a car, doing projects, working on your motorcycle, doing some medical stuff, it'll stay put. Good. The weight is actually pretty darn lightweight for its capabilities. Truth be told, it is. The setup is, as far as the UI goes, and I guess, should I tell you now? Yeah, I think I will. UI, if you don't know, stands for user interface. How do you work the light? How do you get it to do what you want it to do? This should be intuitive and it should be easy. And I think the industry as a whole, LED Lenser, 4.7s, Phoenix, have made strides in making UIs more user-friendly and hiding modes that are not needed by most folks and making them a little harder to access. The default for this one, oh, spooky, is what they call easy low. It's lowest power first, and then if you press the front lamp module again, it'll go high. Okay? And we can put it into what they call easy power. Just think of it as mode 2. And in order to do that, I'll turn the lights back on. You're going to turn the light off. And then you're going to program it with this rear rotary switch, which is mounted, you guessed it, on the battery pack. But first off, I like how they made the default what most people will be using. Lowest power plus full bright. Now if you own this light, I know what you're thinking, you can adjust those levels. I know, we'll talk about that. But let's put it in a different mode first. So we're going to press this back one for 5 seconds and hold it. The number of flashes after the 5 seconds will tell you what mode you just put it in. So now I'm in mode 2. So now when I turn it on, it should go full power. It does. And then when I press it again, it goes lowest power, third press, off. How simple is that? But let's say I hike away from my tent and I want to leave my headlamp on. I'm hiking with a buddy who has his, or I have another light, whatever. I'm going to put it in mode 3. So we press again, hold. It should flash 3 times. Cool. Press this and it leaves it on, so I just turn it off. So that mode in mode 3 is called signal. It's full power. Next press is strobe. But check this, and this is so cool. The multifunction wheel on the back of the H7R.2 it adjusts the brightness, and in this case, the blinking of the strobe. Sick. I really like that, because I mean, you can extend your battery life if the less blinks you do, but I use it. I've talked about in a lot of other lighting product reviews I've done. I like the mode, or the strobe light mode. It's useful to me. And then if you want to go back, which we will do, to mode 1, we're going to press and hold again. And once you do this a few times, you'll just remember it. It's pretty easy. So 1 flash means I'm in mode 1. And what's that mean? Lowest power first, and then we go to high power. Now in this, notice how I can change with the rotary dial, and this is what the guys were saying, my brightness level. How cool is that? So what I like doing is leave it on lowest power on my first one, and this one I'm going to come down to around about 60%. But if I want to go all the way full, it'll blink, meaning I'm all the way bright. If I come all the way to the left, it'll blink again, meaning I'm all the way low. So that's full bright. Now I'm going to go about 60%, turn the light off. Cool. Now I'm in, again, it's called easy low mode. That's lowest power, then full bright. I turn it on. There's low. And I should double press it like that to get into 60%. Now, another way to access what they call boost is a 2-second press on this switch right here. So I'm just going to press and hold and watch. You can't tell a huge difference because I was close to it, but now it's on full bright. Okay, and it's driving it in, I believe, a constant current mode on that max brightness. That, my friends, is an elegant, good use of the word, interface. Well done, LED Lenser. It's easy to do, you can remember it, and it works. Now you may notice when it's on that you're going to have 2 locating beacon LEDs at the back. At first when we saw that, we're like, you know, is that cool? We're not sure. For a tactical environment, obviously not. I don't know if this is the best tactical light. You know, I could dye that red if I wanted to. You could tape it up and hide it if you want. But in use, we kind of liked it because we could keep track of each other. So out in the desert, on a hike or something, you can see your buddy up ahead. And granted, you can see his headlamp too, but it's, I don't know, it's just kind of a nice thing. If you don't want it to turn on, by the way, you can just press and hold this right here, the front switch. It'll blink. And I think that means it's locked. Oh, I didn't do it right now, long enough. Hang on. Let me make sure I'm doing it right. There it goes. Good. I just didn't hold it long enough that first time. Okay, so now notice it's blinking and it's telling you, hey dude, you got it locked. So now to turn it on, you're just going to press and hold it. This will probably blink at you to let you know. Then again, maybe not. There, it's unlocked. There's your lock. How about brightness, throw, and beam? Well, like I say in a lot of my reviews, cut it in about half. Here's the side box. You can see it. Max brightness is 300 lumens. Then you have it infinitely variable, which I really love. And then you go all the way down to 20 lumens. It's saying to 160 meters, 140, 50, whatever. 4 hours burn time. I didn't really test burn times. I'm sure there's some online resources where guys have gone out and done it. And if you're really interested, you can. But it's better than this from what I found. And that's running at about a 50%. If I go to max power, obviously, you're going to be running less. And that's with fresh cells, a fresh included battery pack, which is right here. Lithium rechargeable cell. It has to go in a certain way. Read your directions, make sure you insert it right. It may confuse you. It did me. But once it's in, it works. And if you're asking the question, the answer is yes, you can run AAA's in it. Get the most powerful ones you can. I didn't test that. I was just running it with a proprietary battery. Another thing I didn't show you too with this light is a huge advantage which LED Lenser really touts, and that's the focusability. So I'm going to put it in that easy power mode. So we can actually focus a light just by turning the bezel. I was skeptical of this too, mainly because I'm a kind of a snob when it comes to beam cleanness. I don't like a bunch of artifacts in it. I don't like halo rings. But in the roll-in footage I'll show you, you can see this actually is a pretty clean beam. It's not going to be perfect. You're going to have a ghosting in the center depending on where your focusing is. See, like that? That's unavoidable. That's a physics with the reflector. But I'll tell you this, in max power, that is boost mode, this thing throws. I mean, we were checking out like those baby, actually they're fledgling red-tailed hawks at the top of a pole with the headlamp, and we were shocked at how good this thing threw. Yeah, so this 3.7 volt 1400 milliamp battery does a good job. Now the LEDs also serve another function. When you're recharging it, which by the way can be accomplished with a micro USB right here, y'all. That's cool. So you don't have to use a dedicated recharger. You can, you know, but just whatever plugs into. But you're gonna have the LEDs talk to you. When they're red, it's below 19% during recharge, if I'm not mistaken. Yellow's between like 20 and 49%. Green means it's 50 to 100% charged. These two LEDs change color. So there's actually a multi-function in the multi-function wheel. Get that. Man, I love this light. What are the disadvantages of this? Well, a couple. You may not like the over-mounted position of the light versus a side-mounted light. I mean, you just really need to use both and figure out what works for you. A ball cap will get in the way with a center-mounted light. You may have to run your cap backwards or not wear one at all. I ran it both ways and it seemed to work okay with the hat. The pivot point on the LED Lenser H7R.2 is a little bit loose, and it's, as far as I can see, not adjustable. It's very lightweight. I would like it to click more positively, but I don't know. That's what you get. But they used to call it the variable light output tech. Now they call it the smart light tech, and that is maximization of the battery pack, whatever lighting mode you choose. And the H7R2 impresses me. Versatility and philosophy of use, dude, sky's the limit. What I've been using this for mostly is projecting. So working on vehicles, it's so much nicer just have the light right on your head, and the center mounted in a lot of ways is better because it's thrown directly in front of you. It's lower profile, whereas this is cylindrical, kind of sticks out, might whack on the bottom of the car or something. Projecting, medical light, survival light, absolutely. This could be your only option. You could include it into your kit. Backpacking, it is lightweight enough, especially when you consider the throw. I'll call the throw usable out to about 100 yards. Not that it's blinding out that far, in my estimation, but it's pretty good. And you're going to, if my past experience is correct, you're going to get a better throw with the proprietary battery pack. You might be better off bringing an extra one charged up, ready to go. In cold weather, expect it to diminish. You guys know that already. Can you run pure lithium in it? I'm sure you can. Other disadvantages are the waterproofness is not super awesome. As we pop open this case, you can see it's not really O-ring sealed per se, so that's just splash resistant. There is a cable running on the side of it. There's a little bit more to hang up, but I mean, really, what a great light. And the track record from what I've seen in our use, and that's all I can go by, has been superb. Didn't use it in cold weather, like I said, but we will. Cost these days is going to run around, I think around 100, maybe around 90 to 100, depending on where you go to get it. Absolutely worth it. It is German designed. It is not, however, made in Germany. Nothing is made in Germany at that price point. It's going to be made, you guessed it, assembled in China, like everything these days. But from what I can see, the quality is excellent. From the stitching, the elastic choice, how the attachments work, this is an awesome product. I'm going to give it very, very high on my likability in the sidebar. I highly recommend it. Great gift item too. That's my first ever headlamp review. See ya.